So today we will talk about a series of mantle convection and about the upper mantle and the lower mantle and such things. So and there are actually two, this one I got today, it should be a new one, but it is working like an old one. Maybe this one is better. Yep. We have two theories about mantle convection. So there are two theories, and one does not know by now which theory is therefore it is a theory. One does not know by now which one is true, or maybe it is a combination of both. But anyway, I just started with the first sentence, you missed nothing. And therefore we will now make two pictures, or I have now for today, I have for the first part prepared 4 pictures. And because I got now new pens, then we can make the pictures more colorful. So, these are now 2 cakes, but we are not in a bakery, and therefore we are using these 2 cakes for different things. So here, for example, you know this by now, that is the core, yeah? That is the Earth's core. Then we have here that is the 650 kilometer discontinuity . So there is a boundary, yeah? And now we have to think about what this for a boundary is. And this one here, that is the upper mantle. And this one here is the lower mantle. So now we have this, and now we are making here the part of the oceanic crust. We are making this in green. Here we are making a subduction zone, something like this. So yep, that is then here the oceanic crust. I'm marking this with OC, you know this by now, that is the oceanic crust. So and here we are making the same. So that is here also the oceanic crust. So and now there are different convection models. Those ones in the upper mantle, they are looking the same. There is the next one. Here it goes down, becomes heated up, and then it comes up again. Here is the next one, yeah? So these are the convection cells. But if you are looking for this model, then we have here in the lower mantle as well a convection cell. So and in this model we do not have convection cells in the lower mantle. So in the upper mantle, is or shows or just the double dot here. So in the upper mantle we have different strontium ratios or isotopes. We have 87 strontium, you know this by now, to 86 strontium, that is in the upper mantle about 0.7205. No, it is not 205. It is 0.70205. So at the lower mantle, and this one has then also a certain barium to neodymium ratios, neop ratios, and lanthan-samarium ratios. If we are looking for the lower mantle, is relatively enriched in 87 strontium to 86 strontium, but shows primary composition. So that means if we have a higher 87 strontium to 86 strontium ratios in rock samples from here, then there is a flux from the lower mantle to the upper mantle. So therefore I'm coming just here with the next picture, with the next picture, and that is very interesting now. if we are looking then for the oceanic crust, so the oceanic crust, and therefore we have the oceanic islands, yeah? And the oceanic islands, these are the oibs. So then we have here the oceanic crust. So, and here we have a volcano. It's maybe somewhere here around, yeah? Then we have here our asthenosphere. Here we have our lithosphere. And here no, not here. Somewhere here. Then we are making here a hump. So and that is then the 650 kilometer discontinuity. We must not write it again here. We can also make it something like this here. So, and here we have then a plum or plume. So, and that is then the plume component. So, in the plume component, that is then you get then some stuff from the lower mantle into the upper mantle. So in the plume component, that means that is an enriched mantle. So that is the enriched mantle. So and if we are looking for this thing here in the astrosphere from the upper mantle, then we have strontium ratios. (87) strontium to 86 strontium of range of about, or they are ranging between 0.7022, I think so. Yes, till 0.0028. So these are the 87 strontium to 86 strontium ratios from the strontium isotopes for a belt which was created in the upper mantle, yeah? Somewhere here, yeah? So if we are getting higher 87 to 86 strontium ratios from the lower mantle, then you are getting values ranging between 0.7028 up to 0.7040. So that is then the plumb component, and the plumb component is the enriched mantle, and this we are calling then an E-type MOR, or MOER. Yeah? That is then the E-type, that is the enriched component from the mantle. If we are looking for the epsilon neodymium ratios, then the upper mantle shows values, or has values ranging between +12 and +8, I think so. Yep. Whereas in the lower mantle, you have epsilon neodymium ratios ranging between +8 to -6. So, and for those who are doing the ES301, we just discussed this epsilon neodymium ratios and the 87, 86 strontium ratios regarding MOR basalts, oceanic island basalts, and the kimberlite type 1 and kimberlite 2. Yeah, it is all connected to each other. So that is now the situation for the oceanic crust and the enriched plumb component. So can I remove this? So, now I have another picture. To get the things a little bit more connected. We are running here again through the oceanic crust. Here we have some of the Fijian islands. So then we are running here, continuing here. And then we have here a middle ocean ridge. So and then we have somewhere here we have the 650 kilometer boundary, yeah? So, but if we are checking our basalts created at the middle ocean ridge, that is here, that is then our MOR, middle ocean ridge basalt, yeah? So, and here that is just water. So here, because we are here underwater, yeah? And here we are looking out of the water. So, and this MOR here, that is then the P-type, So and here you have some other bubbles are rising up, yeah. So that's the way how it looks like in the mantle. So they are rising up here, and here you have the p-type warp, and p-type warp, you know that by now that is then the primitive mantle, yeah? And the primitive mantle, you did this exercise in class, you have compared the composition from the primitive mantle with the chondrite, yeah, and a lot of ratios are just 1:1, yeah? So, and from the other picture, you know, at more, you can expect these values, yeah? So, but here we have then the oil, that is the oil here, the ocean island basalt, and here we have the plumb component. So that is the plumb component, and here we're talking then about E-type. So, and the E-type is then the enriched mantle. You have there a second component coming from here. Component. Yeah, that is the second component. That is then the enriched warp. So, and that means we have a mantle flux from the lower into the upper mantle. And that is then our E-type. That means we have mixtures and resulting E-type. So then I can remove this here, yes? Yeah, then let us just continue with this one and then with this one. So, if we are now looking here for our plumb component, yeah, that is the blue component. So the plumb component is until today from there is better. So where are the origin of plumbs? So where does this plumbs have their origin? I mean, this is till today not clear. So there are different theories. So there are different theories where this plumb component comes from. A, plumbs sucking material from the lower mantle at the 650 kilometer boundary. So that's the boundary, and then the plumb component is just or contains material from the lower mantle, and that becomes injected here at the boundary in a depth of 650 kilometer. Next thing, and that is the thing which is nowadays more possible. How deep does the subduction go? That would mean that this recycled oceanic crust. So you know by now that in such a subduction zone we have always a subducting oceanic lithosphere, and this subducting oceanic lithosphere becomes then recycled in the Earth's mantle, and it is sinking down very slowly. Yeah? It is not a sinking, it is a recycling. It becomes molten up in the Earth's mantle. So if it becomes molten up, then you have the rise up of melt. Yeah? So, and that is a thing which we know by now, but here in the South Pacific it has not been studied in detail. So there is also things which I'm working on here. That is to check how many old fragments lying here around at the boundary from the upper mantle to the lower mantle. So, and this the interesting thing is, all these deep earthquakes which occurs nowadays, not nowadays, they are occurring frequently in the whole couple hundred of years. These deep earthquakes, they are all located here in the depth between Fiji and Tonga, ranging between 440 and 660 kilometers. And that is exactly there where this old stuff is lying around. So because if you are creating an earthquake, you need a stress field. And the stress field is always made up of disequilibrium. And disequilibrium means you have a cold oceanic crust which is sinking down, and then all the mineral or a lot of mineral reaction will take place. That this material which is colder becomes in thermodynamic equilibrium with the surrounding metal rocks. Yeah? So and therefore you are creating such stress fields, and that ends up in an earthquake. So, but it ends up also in volcanism, yeah? So, and that is the boundary where this old stuff is lying around, yeah? So, and this old stuff has nothing to do with the subduction which is nowadays here, yeah? Because to get this material in a depth of 650 kilometers, it takes 2,000 or 3,000 million of years, yeah? So, and here you have the situation. I mentioned this just now because I had there some interviews. We can remove this, yeah? So here you have the situation that I say we are now watching from this view, yeah? Like an aeroplane or a bird when it is landing. So then you have here now let us just start with another figure. You have here the Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire, just a part of it, yeah? And here you have the other part, yeah? So, and here somewhere there is a Viti level and here is Vanua level, yeah? They are lying here between these two subduction zones. There's this one dipping to the east and this one dipping to the west, yeah? So, and you know this, you have seen pictures from the Pacific Ring of Fire. I gave you to them in the ES303, and you will get it in this course again, yeah, when we are talking about the Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire in detail. But here we have now Viti level, here we have Vanua level, and here we have Poro, yeah? And here somewhere there's Tonga, yeah? So and this one is dipping here and this one is dipping here. So and then between Fiji and Tonga, they are measuring these deep earthquakes, yeah? The internet is full of it, and you can just check it on earthquake track, www.earthquake.com. So and there you can see there are a lot of earthquakes. There's actually nearly every day one, yeah? So when they occur all at this boundary here, yeah? And they occur not here, they occur here, halfway between the Fiji Islands and Tonga, yeah? So and if they occur in this depth, then we know there is old material downstairs, yeah? That could be totally old material, has nothing to do with the geology here, because the crust is moving. The crust is moving, you know, we discussed this also in ES303. There we have talked about Earth, about plate tectonic, yeah, and you know that all the crustal sheets are moving around, yeah. So, but it's only the crust which is moving. This thing here is always stationary, yeah. So, and if there was a subduction somewhere, or there are always subductions, because you know by now as well that the oceanic crust becomes recycled every 200 million years, or to be very precise, it becomes recycled every 180 million years. That means the whole oceanic crust has by now been recycled more than 20 times. But let us say 20 times because at the beginning of this planet, we did not have that much that much ocean, that much subduction zone which can be recycled because you have at first to form them. So let us say 20 times through Earth's history, the whole oceanic crust has subducted. So and now everywhere on this planet, these old fragments lying around here at the boundary between at 650 kilometers or 400 and 650. Some of them are more close to the crust itself because they are younger. Yeah? Because it took a long time till you get them down to a depth of 650 kilometers, and there they are lying around and creating troubles. But they are not creating that much troubles because if an earthquake is located in a depth ranging deeper than 350 kilometers, then it will not affect us, yeah? In Japan, for example, you have a lot of earthquakes because that is on an active subduction zone, yeah? So, but now, going back to this sketch, because now we are looking from this view, yeah, from the bird's view. So and then, no, not like this, that's not the bird's view, then it's the bird's landing view. So now we have here an oceanic crust here, becomes subducted here, and here we have the next one, here. Then we have here a microplate, or a little bit more thick. So and here, for example, you have the Viti level, and here you have Vanua level, yeah? Something like this. So and when we had, look, and here we have again our 650 continuity. Yeah, then we're making this shorter, yeah, maybe something like this. So, because these subduction zones, they are not old. They are very young. So, and you know that the Fijian Islands are also very young. So the oldest rock here in Viti level is 49 million years old, and that is the age from the oceanic crust. So that means that it's an age from an oceanic crust where the island has not been formed by then, yeah? It was still everything underwater, yeah? So and then you have a lot of ages ranging that are safe for all these volcanic rocks, ranging between 3 and 49 million years here in Viti level. That is Viti level. So, and that here is Vanua level. So, and the other rocks, they are scattering between, I think, 3 million years and the next one at 6 million years, and then you have ones at 16 million years, 20 million years. You have actually the whole spectra for every volcanic activity is actually recorded here. So, but if I have measured all these rocks, not all of them, but a lot of them, and they are showing isotopically, and I use the oxygen isotopes, you know by now. I told you this also in class, or at least I think so. The oxygen isotopes for mantle rocks are different from those of subducted oceanic crust. So because they are the oxygen isotopes, you get them from the atmosphere. So there you have different oxygen isotope values, and you have also different hafnium isotope values. So by using all these chemical aspects, measuring these rocks for all the rare earth elements and so on, and you can compare it with the chondrite, then you can check if they are showing 1:1 ratios with the chondrite, or if they are enriched. These rocks here are not enriched at all. They are showing primary mantle composition. So there is no component from the subducting slag inside. So and if there is no component from the subducting slag inside, of course you have a little bit more potassium, barium, or the potassium group elements inside. Maybe some parts here from the surface here become molten up, but anything else is 1:1. So and that means that it's a pure mantle-derived melt. So and that means that here in this area nothing is lying around, which can create troubles, yeah? Because otherwise the rocks here from Viti-Levu and Vanua-Levu must be chemically different. So in that case, at least we know sure that there is a very small chance to get an earthquake here, yeah? Because otherwise you need here in this area somewhere a trigger. If you are going somewhere here, there is the region, there is Tonga. Tonga is not that high. So there you have these remnants lying around at the boundary between at 650 kilometers. Maybe there are also much more close to the surface, yeah? Because if you are going, if you are checking earthquake activity in Solomon or in Tonga and so, there the triggers are much more close to the surface. You can just check it via the internet. There you have triggers in a depth of 10 kilometers, 11 kilometers, and that is dangerous. But here there is nothing. I mean, of course, you can create somewhere else an earthquake, and then you are getting a tsunami. Yeah, that's possible. So, and they have here everywhere seismic stations. And at MRD and SOPEC, they are checking the stardust every day, and the magnitude on the Richter scale is about 5. So for this earthquake activity between Fiji and Tonga, yeah, it's about 5 on the Richter scale. That is nothing. So, and if you like to predict an earthquake, you can go for very high-tech solutions. But these high-tech solutions are not very reliable. I mean, you can predict an earthquake, and then you can not predict. You can, if you are measuring with your seismic stations, seismic activity for an earthquake, then you can predict a tsunami, because the tsunami will then take place a few minutes later. So, but earthquakes has predicted in the past very often, especially in older times. And in older times, let us say 376 after Jesus, there was an earthquake in Greece. And, you know, everything is written down, yeah? And there was an earthquake in Greece, a lot of people become killed. So, but no animal becomes killed. And that is one which one know by now exactly. Animals can feel it. An animal can feel 5 days before, for example, a dog, yeah? You can also check it in the internet, just put in Google earthquake animals prediction, something like this, and then you will get a lot of websites where they describe all the things. And there was this earthquake in Greek 376 after Jesus. A lot of people become killed, as I told you just now, but not only one rat. The rats, the mice, the snakes, everything was just going to another place where it is secular. Yeah? Well, there was the volcanic eruption. It's not only an earthquake, it's also volcanic eruption and tsunamis. They can feel it 5 days before in average. So, and there was this 79 after Jesus, there was this big eruption in Italy where the Vesuve was exploding, also with thousands of people become killed, yeah? So, and later on, I mean, there was a huge tuff layer, you know tuff by now, yeah? That is this very volcanic ash, yeah? So, and the volcanic ash becomes then deposited, yeah? So, when there was a huge town close to the Vesuve, that is where Napoli is. So, and this town was called Pompeii. And just later, just a few years ago, maybe in 1950, 1960, volcanologists and geologists were walking around with very long sticks, yeah? And with such a stick you can go through the tuff, yeah? Because the tuff is very porous, yeah? It's just ash, and then they found everywhere holes, yeah? So, and then they put just gypsum inside because they would like to know why there are everywhere these holes. And then they put gypsum inside, and then they got the negatives from human bodies, yeah? So, because I mean, the body itself was gone, but the hole was still there. So that from these gypsum models, one could see that all people were sleeping, yeah? They were just still lying there on their beds, yeah? I mean, the bed was now also gone, because 2000 years and such a bed is gone, yeah? Even a good quality one. But the only things, the only individuals which were not sleeping, these were all the animals, yeah? I mean, the dogs were lying there with all 4 legs put it just vertical, you know. And I have never seen a dog sleeping like this. Also cats and cows and cattle, everything, yeah. They were not sleeping, yeah, because they can feel it, yeah. So, and that is a very important thing. And that is actually a thing which can be used everywhere for prediction of earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions. And even birds can feel it, yeah? So if you are looking out of the window at one time and there are no birds longer around, then there is something wrong. So, and because we humans, we lost this sense, yeah? Because animals can feel if there are some changes in the Earth's, how is it called, energy field. So when if an earthquake is coming, or a volcanic eruption, or a tsunami, then this energy field will change. And they can feel it, and then they are just putting everything together, what they have, you know. And then they are just sleeping, yeah? So that is then a big pity for a bird sitting in a cage, yeah? They are then... So, or for the dog on the chain, yeah? So that was this so far to this. Here we have then, going back to this, we have the E-type. The E-type is just getting a second component, and we think now that it's just a recycled old fragments of oceanic crust. So and the more, I told you this before as well, the more plus oil are the main volcanic activity. So for example, intraplate volcanism is only 1 to 2%. So now some additionally information about the composition of the basalts there. So now we have the composition of basalts in the upper mantle. So and if we have composition of the basalts from the upper mantle, then we have at least this guy here, the wall, yeah. So in such a basalt, or the melt is formed by partial melting. So in such a partial melting, as the word partial says, you have everywhere small wet spots. Yeah? You have material that becomes locally molten. Yeah? So and why does it become locally molten? I told you, this here at the mid-ocean ridge here, this melt, that is a partial melt which becomes locally molten there. But now we should know why it becomes locally molten and why it rises then up, yeah? So that becomes locally molten. These are decompression. Decompression melting with 2S, yeah? Here I make a small one, decompression melting. And that decompression or at first that is decompression melting, and that is caused by adding water. So because if you add water there, then you can create a melt. Yeah, I told you before a lot of times, also in ES301, when you are creating a melt, you need some volatiles, that means fluids. So, and the main fluid component, that is just water. So, and then the stuff here will melt. So, and if you are adding water, what you are doing then, I mean that this water in hypercritical condition, yeah, that is not like it comes out from the tap. It is just like a plasma. So, and then you are adding here water, then the density from your material will become slower, yeah? So, and then you have if you have a density contrast from this melt here with the surrounding area, then it rises up, yeah? So, and that is by adding water. So, and now we have to think about the material which becomes molten there, yeah? About the material which becomes molten. And you know by now that the mantle consists of peridotites. And that means originally peridotitic composition. So, and this originally peridotitic composition, that is then not called longer a peridotite here in such a depth, yeah? There we are talking about a pyrodite. So, because nobody can go there and sample some rocks, and then Greenwood in 1967 has introduced the pyrodite model, and the pyrodite, that is a theoretical composition, but this pyrodite is very close in chemical composition like the peridotite, yeah? So, in the main mineral there in the Earth's mantle, that is the mineral olivine. You know this by now, yeah? 67% of the Earth's mantle is made up of olivine. Then we have more olivine compared to what mineral do you think is the second most common mineral in the Earth's mantle? That is the mineral autopyroxene. That is the OPX. So, and what do you think is the next common mineral in the Earth's mantle? That is the CPX, the clinopyroxene. So, and then the next one, these are aluminium phases, Al phases. So, and what do you think are the aluminium phases in the Earth's mantle? You saw one of them in Koro, yeah, in Koro you have had mantle rocks in your hand, yeah, these stercolites. And there was olivine, autopyroxene, clinopyroxene, and what else was there? There was the spinel. I make just the shortcut SPL. So, but now we are moving just from Color to Solomon, and which other aluminium phase is in Solomon in this nearsolites? There's garnet inside. So I make just a GRT here. That is garnet. So and then we have plus minus. We have some amphiboles. And we have some ilmenite. And we have some plagioclase. So and that is the original composition of the peridotites, and they then become the molten if you are adding water, yeah? So and then they are rising up. Smelt will rise up. So and to a certain basalt, you have then always a certain peridotite, yeah? So for example, if you have an Harzburgite and you will create another, then you will create another basalt compared to a nersolite. So why is this? Because the nersolite has additional calcium. Yeah? So therefore you will then get always different counterparts. So if you are checking the upper mantle again, in the upper mantle there are not any large melt sheets. So you have, in the upper mantle, you have only partial melting, and that is always localized. In the upper mantle. So that looks like then in a PT diagram, here we are making it so, here we have the temperature in degrees Celsius, then we are going down in depth, we have the pressure kilobar, for example. So when at low temperatures, we have here three curves. Maybe I'm making them in so here we have three pressure temperature curves. And on this curve here, we are sitting now here. And then from here, there we have the solidus. And here we have the liquidus. So, and then we are adding water. We are adding water. And then the liquidus is moving down. And then we have the rise up from melt. So if we are adding water, then we are creating a melt. So that means here in red then, by adding water, liquidus, moves to lower temperatures. And then we have diateric rise up. So, and then we have created, from our original peridotite composition, we have created there a basalt or a basaltic bed. If you are looking there at the fractionation of basalt, then we can observe that the XMG is mostly lower in the basalt compared to the surrounding, no, not to the surrounding, sorry. To the original peridotite. in at primary composition. And that is fractionation took already place. So that means you are not making then from 100% of peridotite, 100% of basalt. You have always a ultramafic rock as a residual. So I can remove this, yeah? So you know by now the difference between warp and the p-type warp and the e-type, yeah? So now we are coming to the next funny thing here. These are then the two types, or in Hawaii, yeah? So you know Hawaii. And in Hawaii, you notice there's a hot spot. There's a hot spot, and there we have technically two families. So in the Hawaii chain consists of 7 volcanoes. And some of these volcanoes they are of tololitic composition, and some of them are alkalic. Because you have a fractionation in your magma chamber. So because the oceanic crust is moving above the continental crust. So therefore, you have then a fractionation, and you have your cube in the underground. Oceanic crust is moving not above the continental crust. That is not right. That is just nonsense. It is just moving above the mantle. Yeah. So and your plum in the underground is stationary. So and from time to time you have the rise up of melt, and then you will create a volcano above. So and therefore all these volcanoes lying on a chain. So but now let us go back to such a diagram. So that was then originally a triangle. Or it was not a triangle, it was a tetrahedron, and then this tetrahedron we have just put it in 2 dimensions. So and on every corner we have a different mineral. So and here we have the mineral nepheline. And nepheline, you know this by now from the CIPW calculation. The nepheline is a feldspar unique, and that means the nepheline occurs never together with quartz, yeah? So because it's silica undersaturated, so and if the nepheline, as I told you, never occurs with quartz, then the quartz will not plot in this corner, and the quartz will also not plot in this corner, yeah? Because then something is totally wrong, and we don't like to do wrong things, and therefore we are putting the quartz just here in this corner. So and here in the middle we have the dioxide. So and then we need here a mineral, and we need here a mineral. We are doing here another silica mineral, which the main mineral, olivine, we are putting here because the olivine is also a mineral which occurs never together with quartz. So and then therefore we are plotting here then the hypersteam. So and that is that the hypersteam is an OPX. So and the dioxide is an CPX, you know this by now. So in there we can just analyze all these rocks, and then they will plot in a different area. So if we are looking for the two families in Hawaii, then we have one family that is the alkali olivine basalts. They are then at here at home, that is then here this field maybe, something like this. So and these are the alkali olivine basalts. So that is one Hawaiian family, yeah? So and then we need a second family that is like in India, you know, there you have family Kumar and another one is family Singh, yeah? So and that is for the basalts the same. Here we have the alkali olivine basalt, and then we have here another family, and this is the tolleites, something like this. These are the tolleites, and you have here two tolleites. You have the olivine tolleites and the quartz tolleites, yeah? So these are then also two different basalts, because olivine and quartz never occurs together, yeah? Then you can have an olivine tolleite and you can have a quartz tolleite. So and now we need a reference point, and that you should by now know what I mean with the reference point. Here comparing always these basalts then with the morb, yeah? Because the morb is the most primitive one, yeah? So and now I will just give you the location or the chemical composition of the morbs. This is something like here. That is then the morb. So then we have here, we have this fractionation of our magma in this plum, yeah? And therefore we have then a sequence. We have the youngest volcanoes, are tolleites. So that means we have here shield volcanoes. So we have done this, I think, in ES303. Yeah, there I showed you the different type of volcanoes. So you have just to open the PowerPoint from ES303, and there you will see the difference between shield volcanoes and other ones. So these are the youngest volcanoes. They are shield volcanoes, and later they are alkali olivine volcanoes. So we are moving then with our trend from here to here. So how many sessions do we have left? 4, yeah? Yeah. 5. Yes, then we can stop.
Test to ES303. And then I say,
Yes, hand the stuff in, yeah, that we can finish your marks.